These system Bionicle playsets are works of art, and so are the prototypes. Today, why don't we take a look at one of these sets and compare it directly to the early designs. And then we'll determine, hey, which one is better. We'll also deep dive into the pieces in the final set and see how you can use them in your own creations. There's a lot to look at today, so get ready. This is the Tower of Toa. I loved this set as a kid, it was so good. You get minifigures of all 6 Toa, and they must band together to defend this citadel. But the battle won't be easy. They must fight off a horde of Visorak and the dreaded Kargarak, a giant golden Visorak, which houses a powerful hidden weapon inside. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. Well, maybe it does, because this set originally was going to be very different. Early prototypes of this set show us something else entirely. The large Visorak was instead going to be a Metru build, a little mini build of Kitongu. And the Tower of Toa is less of a tower and more of like ancient ruins. It's got vines growing on it and everything. It's dilapidated, it's falling apart, literally. And look at that, the Visorak were yellow instead of their kind of black and glow-in-the-dark marbled color. Well, that might have been a temporary color. You do see that when you look at a lot of old LEGO prototypes. Newer pieces can often be given a different color, and that's because, at that time it was just a placeholder. Maybe they were considering making them yellow, maybe it kind of ties it in with Kitongu, who knows? Oh, and this play feature. Kitongu shoots a key part of the tower and it falls apart. Wow. And I gotta focus a little bit more on Kitongu. Getting him shrunk down in this set might have been the best thing ever. If this had released, we would have got a lot of the pieces that make up the Toa Metru frame in that lovely yellow Kitorange color. Man, that would have been so special. I can see it now. People taking a lot of those parts, mixing them up with a lovely Kitorange mask, and making their own yellow Toa. Oh, the mocks that could have been made. I wish this was real. If the set had looked like this, it would have been such a beauty. But is this prototype better than that final model? Oh, why don't we take a closer look and really examine every intricate detail of the final set. Let's compare and contrast. So the tower itself is a lot more polished, clean. It's certainly not ruins like we saw before, and I guess that's a good thing. But I do like what they did with the doorway, stylizing it to make it look like a giant Bionicle mask, with the mouth being the door. That is very cool. Seeing some of that Bionicle iconography being distilled into the architectural style of this building. It just makes sense. The sides of the tower sport some lovely stickers. Although, are these walls or doors? Because yes, these are secret passageways. You lift them up, and the Toa can hop inside. But that does beg the question, what's inside? There's gotta be all sorts of treasures and details inside this tower. I mean, they're defending it, right? What are they protecting? Well, brace yourselves, because on the inside is nothing. The tower is basically empty. Which sucks, right? How boring is that? Unfortunately, that was kind of a bit of a standard with LEGO sets like this back in the day. Many sets came with empty interiors. Why? Well, I think the idea was to get you to make something. You can fill it with whatever you want. And sure, that's a nice enough idea, but I kind of wish it had come with, I don't know, some artifacts. Living quarters for the Toa. Something. At the moment, it just feels a bit bland, a bit empty. Ah well. On top of that door we were just looking at, there's a lovely catapult. Pressing down on it, the boulder flings forward and can take out the enemies. Very nice. Speaking of catapults and cannons, the middle of the tower has this door that can be flipped open, and then a cannon can pop out and fire down at the enemies. I like that, it's pretty good. The tower leads up to the top to this orange dish, which, I don't know, maybe this is some sort of like relic or power source that the Toa are defending? Because you can push this back. So I guess, yeah, the Visorak can, take it out. Interesting. Obviously you can push it with your finger, or you could launch a projectile to take this out. And why don't we take a look at the big Visorak, because that is its hidden weapon. Pressing down on the back launches this cannon and frickin' takes out Vakama. Dang. And actually, yeah, the design of this Visorak is excellent. It's actually meant to be the same character as the Visorak that appears in the Battle of Metru Nui set. Just kind of, yeah, shrunk down and stylized. I don't mind that at all, actually. I think this is a really solid build. It's still posable. I love how they turned this Makuta mask in gold into more of a bug-like face. It works. The little tusks, the spider-like butt on the back, they did a great job. And of course, this guy here gives us one of the rarest Bionicle masks ever. Not this one, this one. What's the deal here? Well, at the time of this set being released, LEGO swapped over their color for gold to something a bit more brighter. So during the release window of this set, certain copies came with a different colored version of the mask. This pearl gold version is worth crazy money. And if you're lucky enough to get one of those rare variants of this set that happen to have the recolor, well, you're a lucky person. They are not common and not easy to find. But gosh, doesn't it look great? And hey, who cares what variant of the mask you have? It's just great that we got this awesome mask in gold. Either shade looks wonderful. The set also features Vakama's weapon in black. It's a nice recolor, and I love the idea of turning it into a big torch. I don't know, man, it really feels like night and day comparing the prototype and the final set. Both of them are so cool, but so different. Which one's better? Look, there's a lot to love about the final set. Plenty of play features, great minifigures, beautiful pieces. But it's pretty hard to beat an exploding function. It's pretty hard to beat a set that gives you a mini Kitongu. I gotta give it to this one, man. It's just perfect. You know, it'd be really fun to try and build this yourself using existing pieces. Maybe you could even get a few custom-made elements to make an actual Kitorange version of Kitongu. That would be pretty cool. I would love to see this set come to life. But hey, can the Tower of Toa, in its final version, can that be redeemed? Let's look at the pieces. Let's see if they make this set even better. We'll of course start off with that mask gateway. Mitch Henry uses two of them to form an elegant torso on this massive mock. I love that. Branching arms out of the mouth, filling in the eyes with tubes. This is a great torso design, isn't it? And such a creative way to use two of these pieces. Marvelous. The Toa all come with individual weapons. Let's see how you could use those in your own creations. J, short for J, uses them on this Matoran build. And it's nice to know that, hey, they work well on minifigures, but look just as good on larger scale Bionicles. No matter how you use it, you get some good results. Up next, the dark blue Visorak feet. PB Make Stuff uses them in a couple ways. One, for a crotch design, it works. And two, for a bit of a mouth. These look like larger pincers on a more menacing face. Hey, if you're building a bug-themed bad guy, you probably need these pieces. They're a perfect fit. And speaking of which, the Borok windscreen in dark blue. Kalahiki Mox has used this to create a rounded belly. It's good, it informs the body shape of the character, but it also adds in some really nice armor. Very nice. But what about the silver Liwa blades? You get a couple of them on the set. Actually, on that, you get a lot of silver weapons and other Bionicle pieces that adorn this very system-focused tower. And I love that so much. Seeing system brick pieces being combined with Bionicle elements. It's this gorgeous unity of two very different styles. And the end result is something so special. It makes me long for a time where System and Bionicle were side by side. And the few occasions where they did blend together, well, you got some really nice results. This is great. But yeah, those blades. Well, I like the way that Zith 50 has turned it into a scythe. Typically when you see this piece being used, it's used as swords. But you change up the weapon and it still looks pretty good. And we gotta finish off with that legendary mask, the Golden Krakan. Stovano uses two of them for shoulder armor. Yeah, the age-old rule. Turn your masks into shoulder pads. It never fails to look great. There you have it. A wonderful Bionicle playset with some great pieces and an even cooler prototype. Which one do you like more? Let me know in the comments below. And don't be afraid to take a look at the links below. There you can find more work from the builders I featured today. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Happy building, and bye for now. So where's that Kitongu prototype today? Does it still exist? Is he safe? Is he alright? Where is he now?